Hey, good evening. We're looking at a previous canvas that's got the lighthouse right there waiting for a few touch-ups and all of that. Pretty nice ocean, all of that. So that's looking for some details. I wanted to show you the mountain. There's my mountain painting hat. And I wanted to show maybe it's back here. This is the one I just painted up at the Sky Bridge. That is the new cement place for chairs and people to sit over there and enjoy their lunch at the new restaurant. And there's the Sky Bridge. And the mountains in the background. Just wanted you to get a peek at what's going on up at Sky Park. Oh, life has been a mess this week. I did a job and wasn't able to get paid for it. Just certain circumstances didn't let that get allowed. That was tough. But sometimes you just have to let things go in order to be free. And let's see. I'm hoping that when I turn it that way, there we go. And I bought this thing. It's called a painting pad. There are 40 separate slices of waterproof paper that I can put paint on now. And actually, I think I could probably just take it out, not even use the whole pad. There we go. And that way I can just slip that right under my easel. Like that. That'll hold it tight. Get all my brushes together here. Joy's sitting right behind me. She's here. And I didn't know if I left you one of my phones within reach or not. I hope it doesn't ring wherever it's at. So, good to see you. Good to see you. Bob says hi, 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 hi. You know, happy little trees today. And all that good stuff. We're going to do a very light sky today, and a like a beachy scene, white sand beaches, nice white clear sky. And it does worry me that when it gets down to the bottom of a tube of paint and I start shaking it to get the last of it out, where will that paint land? Could I possibly shake it too much? Have it go where it shouldn't go? Oh, this one does not want to poop today.
Hi, Jimmy Spencer.
Hey, Jimmy.
What a word to describe that.
Well, I just can't get it out. It just won't come out. And I'm squeezing it like a colon, I guess. So, what I'll do is if this is the kind where the cap screws off, we'll just screw off the cap and see if that helps. Yep, that helped. We had one dry little snot right there. There it is.
Another nasty way to describe it.
I'm sorry, I'm a storyteller, and storytellers tend to describe things as they look. All right. Hey, let's get some paint on the canvas. All right. Oh yeah, using my new my new canvas holder. Locks things in place so I don't have to work so hard. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot my water bowl.
Hi, Ruby.
Rudy. I haven't heard that name.
Yeah, he's been in here before.
Yeah. I just haven't heard it. Sometimes I'm too busy to think of what all is going on. And I forgot my water bowl. And I don't have an answer other than having to get up and get it. So I'm just going to have to go.
Hi, shopper girl.
Hey. And then, let's see, let's put this up. Since we're working on the sky, we'll bring that up a little bit. We just kind of do one of those and then bring that across like that. Kind of undercut that cloud a little bit. Undercut that one a little bit with some color. And let's spread this white out. Because we want a light blue, beachy, sandy sky. We're gonna bring this down. Ooh, too dark. And our prayers go out to our goddaughter who lost her sister this week, just this last day, to cancer.
Shopper girl said, "Joy, how you doing today?" A lot of pain in my foot. My knee is still in pain. The orthopedic doctor said that I had bruised the bone on my knee, and then I fractured 2 bones in my foot and ankle. The doctor said broken bones, he called it, because technically a fracture is a break. And he said he took the cast off and he put it's a medical boot, but he said you have to wear it like a cast 24/7, except for like in the shower. But he said you have to use a shower chair or something like that. No weight on it without the boot whatsoever.
For 8.
High tails. And so the campground people, they gave me a portable potty thing, and I've kind of been using it. It's sturdier than the walker, because the doctor said he recommends a walker, but the one Donnie found was kind of cheap and crooked, and it wasn't very good.
Yeah, $10, farm store.
But
good deal.
This portable potty thing is really sturdy, so I've kind of been using that to help to lift me off the sofa, and I've kind of, in a sense, used it to scoot around a little bit, like to, you know, if I had to get something out of the refrigerator or something, I kind of used it like that. So, but just getting up and putting my foot, I'm trying to keep my foot elevated because it feels better when it's elevated, but if I put my foot down, it hurts a lot. Shepherd said, please take care, pray for fast healing. Thank you so much. I'm believing for complete healing.
Right away.
Yeah.
To the glory of God.
Rhonda said they finally fixed her mom's phone at the rehab, so she got to talk to her mom twice. That's wonderful, Rhonda.
Wow. Thank you, Lord. We were wondering why you were calling the nurse's station and all that and what you were going through, and
I think
glad to hear that that's been...
Is it just the phone in your mom's room that wasn't working right, or her cell phone? Sharper Girl said, you're welcome. It's so hard to get around like that. Those big boots are heavy to lift and lug around. Yeah. I thought to myself, I wonder if I could just, like, you know, since I'm not able to walk and get my exercise, I was thinking, I wonder if I could just, like, lift my legs, you know, to just keep exercising my legs while I'm, you know, laying on the sofa or something. And boy, that boot was heavy. It was like my
I don't think my
ankle
horizon is straight.
Did not like lifting that at all. So then I thought, maybe after a couple days I'll be able to take the boot off, just so I can, like, maybe just lift my feet up a little bit, you know, so that my legs can get a little bit of exercise. And but then I'd have to put it right back on.
Does that look straighter? I was thinking I've lost track of my horizon here.
Hi, Cher.
Cher.
Yes, she said you're on your arm strength right now. And the thing of it is, my years ago, I had injured my back, and so the MRI said I had 6 bulging discs in my neck and back. So having my back want to just, you know, get up and down on like out of a sitting position, is not the easiest for me anyway, and now I have these two. This foot issue and this leg issue over here on two different legs, on both legs. It's
Yeah.
it's like, oh, good grief.
Oh, good grief. Is there such a thing as good grief? But we say it anyway.
Hi, T. Richards.
I have no idea.
He's trying to figure out what he's doing. Shopper Girl wants to know what kind of paint you're using, Donnie.
I am using acrylic Master's Touch. I use the two nice ones, Master's Touch and Liquitex. Whichever one's on sale. I'm pretty much out of the Walmart paint now. I've got a few pieces left over, but I am not doing Walmart paint anymore.
Shopper Girl said, okay, thanks. Those of us that are locals here in the area, Paulette, she is one of the people on Facebook, and she's a photographer, and there's another photographer that is local, and they take a lot of pictures of bears, and so they're trying to get a petition going for people to sign to have Gatlinburg be more diligent with bear protection, basically, you know, because there's a lot of businesses that are not very there's a lot of businesses in Gatlinburg that are not very diligent. They don't really care if the bears come and raid the garbage or whatever. Gatlinburg has been trying to get new bear dumpsters and things like that.
Right, 300 of them.
But there's still businesses that are not complying. And there was just an article that said that you know, Gatlinburg said that they were meeting with the business owners and things like that, and that they want to give them warnings, and it says they might give them one warning or they might give them 5 warnings, you know, and then they have a, you know, a subpoena to meet in court, it says, and stuff, and so it's not like it's just a set thing of like, this is the way it is, you know. And so what I had heard was that in the past couple of weeks there were like 5 bears euthanized because of this situation, and you know, businesses not complying, tourists that come and they want their viral moment, so they put out Donnie and I have seen tourists renting those, like, what are they called? They're not like a Jeep, but it's ATV. What are they called, those vehicles, Donnie?
Rangers.
Those yeah. They're like 4-wheel drive, but it drives like a Jeep, you know, out there, and people go into the national park, and we've seen them blaring their radios, which in my opinion should be noise pollution in the national park. I don't think it should be allowed to blare your
Yes.
radio like that. And for one thing, the people that go to the national park want to go there because it's peace and quiet and you can hear nature. And it's also important. It's also important to be able to hear nature, you know, and stuff. If an animal was rustling around, you would want to hear it, you know, and stuff. And so, but you also want to hear the mountain streams and creeks when you're out there in nature and everything. But we've seen tourists that would have a bag of dog food in the back of the vehicle. Why are they taking a bag of dog food into the national park? The only reason would be they plan to open the bag of dog food and then, you know, dump it out at different places so that maybe the next day they can come back. And it had attracted bears so that they can get their bear photographs and videos or whatever. We've seen bears when we've gone into the national park, you know, and stuff, but we didn't bait them, and they weren't eating, you know, pet food or anything like that. But one time we rented a cabin in Gatlinburg, and there was a mama bear and cubs right there, and I actually had recorded it, but I didn't even put the video out yet. I should put the video out and make it like an educational video. But here the baby bears were up there eating the dog food that somebody had dumped out. Now we rented the cabin, but we went to go check it out because our rental day wasn't then. So we just kind of wanted to check it out and then tell our friends.
Yeah, do a quick ahead of time blog.
We had some friends that were coming, so we wanted to kind of check it out before we got there and see what it was
How
like.
much parking.
What was parking like and all that kind of stuff. So we pulled into the driveway, and there was a mama bear and like 2 cubs or something.
Yeah.
And then we were like, we didn't know what they were eating. They were eating something. It took a while for us to figure out that they were eating dog food. And then I was like, you know, I realized, hey, this is dog food isn't even supposed to be here, because this cabin was rented as a no pet cabin, no pets allowed. So somebody that brought dog food, they brought dog food to bait the bears. Not
And
because
dump the whole bag.
And dump the whole bag out.
Yep.
And of course the you know, the baby bears were there eating the dog food. So we recorded it from the inside of our vehicle. And of course Donnie always is a teasing person, so he was like, you know, he's like, I don't know if he said, you want to get out or something? And, you know, I'm like, no. And he's laughing at me. But it was like, you know. But that was one of our first clues right then. That was one of our first clues that tourists were bringing dog food to bait bears. We didn't realize it until that moment. Shopper Girl said that's really sad.
And we called the main office, and it was not there. Right, I mean, they went right out there and got it. You know, we said somebody left dog food out here. And they said, "Oh, that's bad." They came and got it.
Well, I don't know that they could get it because it was dumped all over the rock. You know, it was like a gravel driveway, and they dumped. So I don't know if they could have picked up the dog food or not.
I don't know,
but so they're trying to
my distant mountains didn't
educate,
work out.
And I'm trying to educate, you know, tourists, because even the point, there's the point about bears getting into the garbage can. You know, that's something that, of course, Gatlinburg needs to deal with the businesses for. But the bears approaching human beings, bears that get in the garbage can were not approaching human beings. They weren't. Because we've seen bears in garbage cans when we're driving around, and like even at night, and I seen a bear, and I got it on video. We were like driving, and there was the bear in the garbage
right up on top of that dumpster.
Yeah, and I go, "Hey bear," and when I said, "Hey bear," the bear turned and looked at me, and then ran and jumped down because it was afraid. T. Richards says that's disrespectful to the bears and the neighbors. Yeah. Shopper Girl said people coming into Gatlinburg are doing that. People should know better. I agree. And there was a YouTuber out there that would put dog food out on his deck. He was local to the Smokies, and he would put dog food out on his deck, and he would claim he put it out there for the raccoons, but I think he was putting it out there for the bears, because he was constantly getting a bear on video, and then would say, "Oh, this bear," and he'd name the bear, and he'd put it on video and stuff. I don't watch the guy. I just had, I had heard about it, and I had seen. So then I seen that he had done that, and I don't support that kind of stuff. So I didn't watch it. It's one thing to catch something. Like I said, we caught that on video. We didn't put out the dog food. We weren't even staying there yet. We were just like wanted to see what the driveway was like and everything, because we had guests coming and everything, and one of them was like handicapped, and so we wanted to see what the house was like, and it was, would he be able to even manage, because he had cerebral palsy. Would he be able to manage and get, be able to get into the cabin, because he was going to stay with us. He'd never stayed in a cabin, and so we were going to let him, have his first experience in a cabin and stay with us. So, which he did. That's on our channel, showing him. That was Ford Man Kenny. But but we're the type of people that if we see something, then we'll try to catch it on video. But we're not the people that put the food out for the bears to come and eat it. Now, my thought is this: if somebody enjoyed seeing the bears coming around their property or something, right? Then why not plant natural plants that bears like to eat, like berries or whatever, right? Why not plant that? You could do that if you're a cabin owner, and instead of allowing your guests to dump dog food all over. And the dog food too, that could just draw in coyotes as well. Jimmy Spencer said they don't want the bears down there. They're afraid somebody will get hurt. It's all about the revenue. Nancy said, exactly, Joy, plant berries instead of putting foods out. Yeah. And because there are natural kinds of plants that bears like. We drive through Cades Cove, and when we go through there, when there is a like a cherry tree in bloom or whatever, those bears are very, very active, If you have, the thing of it is, if you have food that is not human food, then the bear does not really attribute that food to being given to them by a human being. But because the bears have approached humans in the last couple of weeks very, very closely, like even touching the humans, then that's because the bears are associating the human with food. Somebody has been feeding those particular bears that do that. That is not normal behavior. And Jimmy Spencer has lived with bears for years and years and years, where he lives in the mountains in Shenandoah, up there by Shenandoah National Park. He lives right up there by that. He's got bears, and bears don't walk up to them, you know? Well, right now, Jimmy, they are, there's a petition going around to get them, you know. So if enough people start caring, you know, there's enough people, if they start caring about the bears, then, you know, it's, they'll have to do something, you know. And I think they really need to educate these tourists that come in here to do this. Because the reason the bears are getting close to people, that's not local people doing it. That is tourists that are doing that. Yeah, Rhonda, we've been telling people not to feed the bears too. Nancy said, you know, people are going to get other people hurt. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Tourists are coming here baiting bears, and they probably, we were at the Gatlinburg Inn, and Donnie, I saw a bear walking through the parking lot, and Donnie walked over there to see the bear, and he zoomed in on the bear. And Donnie was like behind cars, you know, but he like zoomed in on the bear, and but he said the bear was like eating something. Well, that means somebody
dropped it from the balcony.
Somebody dropped food from the balcony.
Yep,
down
obviously.
Onto the ground so that the bear would eat it, and then they could get their photographs or video or whatever.
Yep.
Vicky, I was just talking about that. I do not watch that that person on that because that's just selfish. That's just selfish, Vicky. That's just selfish, and I won't even watch that person or acknowledge them or anything because of that selfishness. It's just people that do stuff to bait bears, and they're so that they can be viral or whatever, you know. Because I was just saying, me and Donnie, if we see a bear, we will try to get it on camera, you know, from a safe distance.
We call it a safe bear encounter.
Yeah, we always pray for safe animal encounters. That's our prayer.
Safe animal encounter. That's our prayer.
We pray for safe animal encounters. We don't try to get up close to the animals or stuff like that. And one time, a bear did come up in the national park really close to Donnie. It freaked me out.
And you had one right outside your window in Cades Cove.
Right, but I was in the car, thank God. And, we, you know, You know, cameras have a zoom lens on them.
Yeah, we feel like those
For a
are
reason.
arranged meetings by God.
People that do that and feed the bears, and so that the bears associate the people with food, they're what they're doing is they're causing the bears to have to be euthanized, and they're causing a danger to the neighbors and other people is what they're doing. Because now we've had in the last couple of weeks, we have had a whole bunch of incidents where human beings have gotten harmed or had a close proximity to a bear in a dangerous situation, and that caused like 5 bears to be euthanized.
Yeah.
And you know, the food worker at Anakista in
Gatlinburg
for some
female
reason,
police officer.
I don't know why. The door was left open, and the bear came right in the open door. Somebody should have been there to assist her, and either brought her the food that she was bringing in, or somebody should have been there manning the door. You know, so that the bear could not get in the door or something. And then there were people up at a hotel, and the bear came up and was touching them and smelling, you know, their clothing and touching them, and even touched his snout to a little baby's foot that the mother was holding the baby, you know, the toddler. And he got his claw caught on her clothing and stuff like that. That means people have put out food for the bears, because that is not normal bear behavior. There are rare occasions, very, very rare occasions, when black bears attack a human being. Very, very rare occasions. And usually that is maybe an aggressive male bear or something like that back in the deep woods. You know, it's not common behavior at all. Grizzly bears is a completely different story. Grizzly bears are aggressive, and they will attack human beings. Nancy said, I believe because of movies and TV shows, it makes people think that wild animals are trained. I said, very nice painting, Donnie. And this isn't the only place where people are getting close to animals either, because people go over into Yellowstone and stuff like that, and they want to get a selfie with a bison. You know, there's people out there that want to get close to an elk or a moose or something, you know, when they go to areas where those kind of wildlife are. You know, it just, I don't know. Do people not watch nature shows? Do they not understand that wild animals are wild? They're not stuffed animals to get a picture of in a selfie. One time we went to the national park, and it said stay 50 feet or something, 50 yards, something from
50 yards.
The elk. Anyway, we didn't really know we didn't really know what 50 yards was. So we stayed behind this fence because there were other people in front of us. So we stayed.
They were getting selfies.
We were staying behind other people. We weren't like way up. But then the park ranger that was there, he was explaining to us what 50 yards was, and he even though we were back behind other people, he said you're too close. This isn't. And I go, well, what does that mean? And then he said, look at your thumb. And something about your thumb, you have to be the distance where that animal is small as your thumb or something like that.
Your thumb covers it or something.
Yeah. The size of your thumb, something like that. So.
It still isn't working. So we're just going to make a few.
After that, we, we kept our distance because the elk do roam around there. It was up there by Cherokee. So there's a point of like when you don't know something and you make a mistake, but then you learn, One of the problems is that nobody's teaching these tourists anything, And like Jimmy said, the people want their tourist income, they want their tourist revenue, but they don't want to hinder their tourists from having the best time, so they're not telling them anything. But we have a friend named Philip, and he has a cabin up in Gatlinburg called High Haven Cabin. He teaches every single guest. He's got rules that he sends you before you go stay in his cabin. He watches the bear aware education stuff. He shares it out. He has it in his cabin for the guests. He also sends them the information and everything like that before they stay in his cabin. That needs to be happening to everyone that owns a cabin rental. They all need to be doing that for their guests. And not only that, the hotels need to be having information also for the hotel guests. They need to be putting this information out there for the hotel guests. Rhonda said they should give info to all the tourists. Yeah. I love animals, always have, and I respect their wildness, lose their life. Donnie is supposed to paint again this Friday, right? At
Yeah.
The Gatlinburg Sky Park.
I'm waiting for my paint to dry. I can't do much. I'm looking for. That's pool blue. Still not dry. I'm just having fun here.
I just shared.
I can't get my paint. I gotta wait for my paint to dry. And so I am just gonna go for where the paint is dry. Now I left this dark blue under the white because that's my curl.
I shared the petition. There's a link to the petition to have Gatlinburg ask Gatlinburg to enforce the laws to protect the bears. And if anybody wants to sign that petition, it's right there.
That's the thing about acrylic paint. You like it or you don't, you wipe it out. I just squeezed out a bunch of white and it's gone already.
Vicky asked, why do they not enforce the laws of feeding bears if they see someone feeding them? There was a case, was it a year ago or something, where somebody caught on video a guest at a hotel trying to hand feed a black bear, and the black bear, like, she was literally trying to get this bear to take food out of her hand, a man and a lady, and the lady was the one doing it, and somebody saw it and recorded it and posted it because they were trying to get her in trouble with the hotel she was staying in, and the hotel didn't care. They didn't care at all. And I don't know if the hotel even like turned her in or anything of like the name of the lady. And you know, there's a lot of, you know, Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Sevierville all live off of tourist dollars, you know. But of course the bears are in Gatlinburg because Gatlinburg borders the national park, you know. And so there's a lot of bear activity there. Plus, when people keep feeding them, the bears are taught to, you know, go get the food. They learn. Bears are very smart. They learn stuff like that. I feel like maybe Gatlinburg, other people, according to what other people have said, it seems like Gatlinburg has, you know, doesn't want to lose the tourism revenue. So they haven't really done anything to deter this. But now it's like almost like exploding in their face. You know what I mean? Because one of their own police officers or something, I'm assuming she was a Gatlinburg police officer, but it was law enforcement, a lady. She just got harmed by a bear, like, I think within days ago or something. And so they have to do something now, because they have not stopped tourists. They have not educated tourists. They have not stopped tourists. They have not made an outreach to their like their cabin owners and their hotel owners and stuff like that to teach the education of, like what I said. Our friend Philip that owns a cabin in Gatlinburg called High Haven Cabin, he educates every single guest that comes to stay there. Rhonda said she signed the petition, and T. Richards said he signed the petition. Yeah, the petition is there too, because the lady who started the petition, she is the bear photographer. She goes out safely. And there's people that, like, when she posts on social media, there's people that'll like get mad at her and say something to her because she'll have a close-up of a bear. You know why? She uses a 35mm camera and a long lens. She is not close to the bears. She knows how to walk around, keep her distance from the bears, and use that camera to get close photos of the bears. Nancy said she signed the petition. Yeah, we signed the petition too, because I think the more people that will sign that petition, then, you know, hopefully Gatlinburg starts becoming an educator, instead of, you know, just have it be all about, you know, looking the other way when someone's doing something wrong when it comes to the bears. Yeah, Nancy said she learned in photography class to use a zoom lens. Yeah. Yeah, I took photography class in high school too.
Did they have cameras when you were in high school?
I had camera when I was in elementary school. That's how I started YouTube, was I had a camera in my hand since I was a little girl. I think for the most part, all the locals, or most of them, unless they have like livestock or something, and they're like a farmer, I think most locals enjoy seeing a bear walk around every now and then, you know. But they haven't had trouble with the bears, you know.
I've seen plenty of mother bears with 3 cubs over the last couple of years.
Nancy said she got her first camera for Christmas as a kid. When she was 6, it was a Barbie camera. Sharper Girl said she's been watching you on the big screen. She had gotten a phone call, so she had left the chat, but she had you on. Thank you so much, Sharper Girl.
Thank you. I never know what's going to happen. I keep trying to rescue my mistakes, and things get better. So we're working on it. Oh, you're right. I gotta finish that water before I put the plants in.
What did you say? Oh, you're right. I didn't say anything. I have to add a certain amount of water to the paint so that it goes on thin enough that it allows the paint underneath to come back through. And it's not a very good process as far as I'm concerned, as far as knowing what I'm doing. But the thing is I'm just going to do it over and over again until I get to that place where I have got it. And then I see how all the colors come together. And maybe I can dab something up in here to help something look better. I wish I had that pillow. There's not enough room for my cushy chair tonight. So I'm having to... Because I have to have my feet elevated.
She's got to have her feet up. So Donnie loses tonight.
His butt is not the most happiest camper sitting on that stool.
And you know what? Sometimes if you just go quickly, and you really don't know what to do, things work out. Like last week, or was it the week before, when I made that forest. I've got to go back and look at that, because that is something I don't know how to duplicate. It just happened accidentally to build that forest up the way I did. And see, with all this water, putting this water in here with this water and paint, it worries me at first, but then all of a sudden the other paint starts coming back through again. And if it doesn't, then I work it out from there. Because see, what I want is I want the little kind of a light, thin, this water needs to look really thin right here. But there's water over the sand. And the way you do that is just by adding water to the paint and pulling it over. But that's just the key. You have to wait for that sand-colored paint to dry.
I said you're doing a good job. It's a little bit, your camera's a little bit high. You're not really showing.
Okay. I had it up high while I was doing the sky, and I forgot to lower it.
Yeah, because you're explaining.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, you were explaining what you were doing, but it wasn't showing what you were doing.
And see, I'll take lots of water up here. Okay. I'm thinking, what happens if I would just wipe some of that paint off? Would that give me the look I'm looking for? Bring out that blue a little bit, and then take some of the white and roll it over the top.
Good job, Donnie. Great job.
You're certainly seeing my experiments tonight. All right, I'm going to switch to this other brush, and I'm going to put just a little, oh, how'd that get in there?
Rhonda Gale said she's glad that the place fixed her mom's phone. We're glad for you too.
Yeah, some people. My mom raised me not to need her, to be independent and to be on my own. And so I never was much for calling or anything else like that, and that never really bothered her. She liked her, but she learned her lesson though, and I'll tell you, she was really close to her grandkids, and she loved babies. She loved oh, that looks good. What if we bring that wave crashing right there, and then up that way? Oh, look at that. And we bring this one this way.
Even though Donnie wasn't, was trained by his mom not to call, if I'm on vacation with my family or something.
Maybe we'll put a splash right here.
He
Let's put a splash
he needs to talk to me
right
all
there.
the time. He cannot go without talking with me, because I might be really busy and I'm with my family. We're going out to eat. We're, you know, going places, doing things. So I'm not like, I might go all day long without being on the phone. But then by evening, he's like, you know, you haven't called me all day. And so he's like wanting to be on the phone.
Oh, don't make me out to be some kind of wuss.
You are that way with me. I'm saying you weren't that way because your mom taught you not to be dependent on her, but you know, emotionally, you're that way with me.
Hey, quit telling my secrets. I've never. Or I'll tell everybody what it was like when they took your boot off. Now you might say, what is he doing over here?
Over on the Gale said, don't forget to send her the moon pies. Yeah,
Yeah.
He hasn't mailed out the moon pies. They're still here. With my injury,
And I'm just overwhelmed with everything that happened with work and everything.
he hasn't gotten over to the post office yet.
But I will.
I reminded him today, but he was working here at the campground today, so he didn't get out. Nancy, our treasured home, said that is because Donny is in love with you, Joy.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I grew up not wanting or needing anybody. And Joy just happened to slip through the cracks and get to me. And made me love her. Literally sat on my chest and made me love her. Or made me receive her love, actually. Might be a better way of putting it.
I didn't sit on his chest, I sat on his belly.
Because I had a hard time with love. It took me 20 years of her working with me to really know what love was. You know? And to understand that, you know what, you can be mad one minute and not be resentful the next. I didn't grow up that way. I grew up with resentment.
He was laying on the ground and acting like he, you know, didn't care about anybody, and I put, you know, one knee on one side of him, one knee on the other side across his belly, and I, you know, put my hands on his chest and said, yes, you do. You're attached to me.
Still makes me laugh.
He was like, that right there got to him.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are attached to me. And part of me wanted to be, but I just didn't know how.
Vicki England said, what type of work did you do when you lived in Indiana? Well, first he was in the Coast Guard. And then when he got out of the Coast Guard, I didn't know him when he was in the Coast Guard. Then when he got out of the Coast Guard, he actually became a cook while in the Coast Guard because the food was so terrible. So he just started to cook for everyone because the food was so terrible, and he was such a good cook that they said, "You're our new cook." They made him the cook because he was such a good cook. And when he got out of the Coast Guard, he worked at restaurants as a cook and chef and stuff.
And prep cook and line cooking.
And at breakfast restaurants and, you know, lunch and dinner restaurants and stuff like that. He worked at different restaurants.
Yeah. But there just wasn't enough money in it. And they were run by very narcissistic people.
And then he, started learning how to be a house painter. And that's how he got into that. And then when I said to him, because he used to watch Bob Ross all the time, and I said, you can do that. He's like, no, I can't. I go, yes, you can. You can do that. If you tried, just try. And one day he just tried, and he painted.
The paints you bought for me sat there for 5 years, more, even longer, maybe.
Shopper Girl said, paint me a beach chair right there, Donnie. Looks beautiful.
Yeah. Where's my beach water brush? Oh, that's not my beach water brush. I must have put it away already.
And then he enjoyed staining woodwork. So he just kept working at it, and he became a stain master, where he could really match stain on, like if somebody had a patchwork done or something like that, and they needed to match something, he got really, really good at matching stain. T. Richard said, nice, wish I could paint.
I used to say, I wish I could paint. Don't forget that. I used to say, I wish I could paint like Bob Ross.
T. Richard said, I should give it a better try. You never know.
You only regret what you never tried. You never regret something you at least tried.
Most people, if they just keep trying at something, they will get a little better and a little better, you know?
Yeah. Just a little better and a little better. Your imagination says, oh, I see it. Well, then you expand on what you saw. And
T. Richards said that is true. And the thing of it is, I don't know about you, but we have gone to like museums where they have art and stuff. And to be honest, some of the art that we have seen in museums, we just think, really? You know, because it's unique to that person, but that doesn't mean it's something that is, you know.
Joy convinces me by calling it artsy. And I say, this looks terrible. No, it looks artsy.
Some of it does look like a really young child painted it. But then those are like, some of those artists are high dollar artists, but their artwork might look like, you know, a very young elementary, you know, student painted it. So you just never know, you know. And then there's other people, they sell artwork and it's like blotches of paint, you know.
Just blotches.
It's not really a scene or anything, you know. But there's people that love that kind of art. Art is just according to what you like. It's not, it doesn't have to be.
It has to make sense in your own mind.
It doesn't have to be perfection.
Yeah, it just has to make sense in your own mind. And when I hit it and I see it on the canvas,
Nancy
I'm like,
said,
oh,
yes.
there it is.
She goes, yes, there are. Nancy says, she said she's seen paintings that sell for thousands of dollars, and it looks like a kid painted it. I've seen those. T. Richard said, I do enjoy that type of art myself, but each to his own. Yeah, I mean, what is it called? Like abstract art, you know. There's some people that make art that looks like a stick figure, you know, and then there's other people that joke and say they can't even draw a stick figure, you know, but it's just like, everything is different, you know what I'm saying? For me, it's like thinking, like when I think, really? Because sometimes I'm shocked at the price that art is selling for, you know, and it's not a scene that you can make out with your eyes. It's, you know, it's something. And then there's art that's
awe-inspiring.
Well, there's art that's real dark in nature too, and that makes me go, really? Some of the abstract art, to me, is way nicer than dark art. You know what I mean? I don't like dark art. T. Richard said, I'm a concrete thinker, like the concrete art, LOL.
You know, that's true. There are some people that are just, it's called concrete. That is a true personality trait. You know, don't mess with me. Just tell me how much it is and tell me to pull it. But you don't have to tell me to pull around. Just tell me how much it is and to meet you at the window. Don't say, please drive around. I know that.
For me, like some of the abstract art, because I like some art as a background for like if I'm gonna make a post on social media, I actually like abstract art in the background because some of it that's not too busy for your eye, you know what I mean? And it's just some beautiful colors, because I like colors and stuff, and I'll use stuff like that and I'll post it then to social media. I'll put words on it and then post it to social media, because I think the colors in the background make it really pretty as a background. Because sometimes a picture, if you want to put words on it, sometimes a picture, it just is, from my eyes, can be a little too busy. We can't, if it's a copyright song, we can't play it.
I just had a wonderful mistake happen. So what happened was I got the green on my brush and realized, oh, it's too soon. You've got to finish your water and all that before you can do your green. I thought, oh, so I set it down. And then I got so involved with everything else, I forgot about it. When I picked up the brush again, it looked like this. Look at how it's all separated. And guess what? It's hardened just like that. All I have to do is tap it in the green now, and I get perfect grass. Look at this. Just like that. Perfect grass. Oh my goodness. And then all I have to do is go back and touch just the tips in the paint, and perfect grass again. Look at that. Oh my goodness. How did I had no idea that I could do something like that. See, and I'm just gonna put a few more little short pieces as I get down in the sand here.
That's so cool.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same kind of brush. Let me see if I can find one.
T. Richard said
I
that's
bought a
neat.
new one.
Ruthergale said thumbs up.
But what an exciting mistake that was. I've already used my brush. And that's all right. I've got others. Uh-oh, that one got leaked on. Look at that. Somebody leaked on it. All right, so I'll have to try to clean that one. Well, all right, we'll have to do one post at a time, but I could do this idea for a red fence too, because I'm getting ready to do a red fence, one of those little sand fences, you know. But before you can do that little red fence, you've got to put your grass that goes down behind that fence. And you've got to get that done first.
We've seen some people that do art, and it's like...
I suppose we could put a few over here.
They pour paint on a canvas. It's not any kind of brushwork or anything like that. What Donnie does, they just pour paint on a canvas. And some of those people get like viral views on what they're doing.
You mean the tinfoil ones? The tinfoil one makes me mad.
He doesn't know why. He doesn't know why artists that use a brush get less views than someone who pours paint on a canvas.
Right, wads up a piece of tinfoil and throws it at a piece of canvas and gets 7 million views. And they put a bunch of candy dots on the canvas first. Candy buttons. Remember those little candy buttons we get as kids? And then do that. And then here it comes. And then that makes me so mad. All right, so I'm going to try here with a straight edge to do the fence. I don't know if I can. I'm not sure. How to do it. Fence, come on, fence post. Oh, that's definitely not wide enough. Okay, so that's not going to work. I'll try a different. I got a stiffy brush here. Nope, he doesn't work either. You know, I'll tell you, when I find the right brush for something, oh, there's another one with blue paint on it. Gonna have to clean those with a wire brush. I found one in my car the other day, a little tiny one that I could put in here with my paint stuff. I'm going to get that. Ah, where's my long bristle? That could work. A long bristle? Let's see if a long bristle works. Okay, come on, baby. All right. Okay, so we're rolling it in the paint. And I was just guessing what color paint I wanted to use. I said, this looks pretty good. And that actually is working pretty good right
Hi,
there.
Hunter. Said, how are you, Donny?
Hello. I am doing really good. I am happily taking some days off to take care of my wife, something I should have done when she got hurt. I got to tell you what, when someone in your house, you have a choice of going to work and not doing a good job, or staying at home and feeling like, oh, well, I don't need to be here every minute, let me go to work. You're not making the right decision. I decided to go to work. My wife was okay with that. She was settled in. I could leave for a few hours. But I was exhausted. And I made the wrong decisions at work. And I spent $1,000 of my life for nothing. Because I did not make the right choices. So, take care of family first. Don't feel bad if you have to tell somebody, I can't do this right now. I've got to take care of a family situation. And I am a dedicated soul. Military. I was taught in the military, you go to sea even if your wife's pregnant and about ready to have a baby. You know, you might be up in Sondrestrom, Greenland, in the most dead radio spot in the world, when your wife is having a baby, and you have to, you develop such a hard heart to be in the military that when you get out, you sacrifice your family. And you don't do what you should have done. Boy, is that looking good or what? Oh boy. Thank you, Jesus, for working this out.
Hunter said, how are you feeling, Joy? My, the orthopedic doctor said that my right knee had a bone bruise. He said it would take, 4, 6, 8 weeks to heal that. I wasn't happy about hearing that because it was hurting, and it still hurts really bad when I put weight on it. And I was hoping that leg would, that it was just a bruise, and that it would heal up. I didn't know anything about a bone bruise. And I thought, a couple days, it would feel better. I was surprised that it was still hurting.
Yeah, the whole surface of the bone is like mush.
And then the foot, he said, had 2 broken bones. They're fractures, but he called them broken bones. It was on the top of the foot, or the side of the foot, and then the ankle. And so that is extremely painful to put weight on. So Donnie's been helping me. Sometimes he helps me get up off the sofa.
Oh yeah. It takes 10 minutes to get out of the house. You don't realize how important every muscle of your body is to just be mobile.
Well, and I had an MRI that showed six bulging discs in my neck and back. So getting up was for years a challenge. Just standing up with your back, dealing with that. And so. And he's helped me get back into the RV. He kind of like boosts my rear.
Yeah, we had to rent a room.
He kind of boosts me up, because I said just boost my rear end up while I'm
physical touch.
While I'm trying to lift one leg at a time and get up and get up on the RV steps, to get in to the RV. Hunter said bone bruises are the worst. Yeah, I have no idea what that was.
I tell you what, people, I just about cry when I see what God does.
Huh?
It's just overwhelming to see this painting go from such a mess Just something I can actually go, wow, I see it. I see it. You know, I should probably do a little bit of sand first.
What some people probably what nobody knows except for the people that were actually there at the time. Rhonda said, "You can do it, Donnie." The people that were actually there when I fell, because there were people that were up there sitting in benches and stuff there, and they tried to come to my rescue and help me. They were trying to help me up, but because of my back and the bulging disc, I don't just get up off the
that
ground.
red fence just ruined my sand. So that's the thing about acrylics.
You'll fix it. I don't just get. It's not easy for me to just get up off the ground. I usually have to get over onto my knees and to get up off the ground. But then I had this bone bruise, right? So they were trying to help me get up, and they said, "Here, let's help you get up on this bench," because I was on the ground. And I had literally then, I knew that if they were to hold on to my arms, they couldn't just pick me up.
Yeah, and they couldn't pull your arm out of your socket.
And I also have a rotator cuff on my left side. Rotator cuff issue. That was diagnosed like last year or something.
Well, yeah, we took you in separate for that.
Yeah, that was a thing. And so, you know, I have to be careful with anyone pulling on my arm or something like that. And so I proceeded to crawl. I crawled on my hands and knees from the point where I had fallen and tripped over the walkway. I crawled over to where, closer to the bench, because I was going to try to, you know, if I could hold on to the bench, I thought, you know, then maybe they could help me to get up on it. But my knee, it was just so painful, and my ankle, I couldn't get myself up at all. And then they were saying, the people that worked there, they were saying, "Would you want us to call the ambulance?" Well, Donnie wasn't there yet, and me with the Asperger's thing, I don't know everything and can make decisions because I don't know everything. And so I didn't even know if he had insurance on me or not. And I found out after he came there that he did have some insurance on me that he had gotten, but it wasn't like emergency room type insurance. And so
right, it was
and then we found out from the EMTs that if you, because I thought I can't just have this big bill, you know, and I thought I knew Donnie was there, so I called Donnie. He was in Gatlinburg, so I was trying to get Donnie to come over to where I was, you know, and then Donnie could make the decisions then on what to do, you know, and help with the decisions, so I wasn't just making the wrong decisions. But then the EMTs told us that they don't charge anything unless you take a ride in the ambulance. Then you're charged for it. So
no charge till transport.
So they told Donnie if he wanted to, since the insurance didn't pay for that kind of thing, they said that Donnie could pull the car up either in front or behind of the ambulance, and they would put me in the wheelchair thing and wheel me down to where the ambulance is and help me get into the car, and then Donnie could transport me to the hospital, and and then I think Donnie got a wheelchair for me, and I had that pulled right up to the car and helped me get into it, and then took me into the hospital that way. So it didn't cost us an emergency. It didn't cost us a ride in the ambulance.
A transport.
They did my vital signs and everything, and they said that my vital signs were very good. The guy who took my vital signs, he was even impressed, he said, because he said he said, you don't even take blood pressure medicine or anything? I said, no, we don't take any kind of medicine, RX at all. Neither one of us do. And when Donnie deals with some blood pressure issues, he does it all by taking a really good natural beet powder, a really good one. He doesn't buy Walmart brand because it's not good. He tried it. But he takes a really good brand that he buys online, and that keeps his blood pressure at a good thing, and then he watches his salt, so he does fine doing that. But people, you know, where I was sitting when Donnie arrived there, I had crawled to that spot trying to get up on the bench. You might want to push your camera back just a little bit.
What's that?
You might want to push your camera thing back just a little bit. No, I mean the whole ring thing. Push the whole ring thing back a little bit.
Push it back farther.
Really showing.
No, you can't see that. That's as far as it goes. There's something in the way. Something under there, some box or something won't let me go push it any farther back.
I usually try to fix it for him, but I can't get up and do it.
Logistics. Wish I could do better up here with a little bit of green or something, maybe across here. And that helps a little. That helps. That helps. That helps. That helps. Really like that rock. Now I'm gonna do a. Now I've got to do some water on this rock. See, so we've got. I put the splash on there. Now I put the rock in there. Now I've got to run some water down the rock and across the sand here as it's draining. And once I do that, we'll be done.
You don't have any palm trees in there, so maybe that's a northern beach instead of a southern beach.
Southern beach?
I said you don't have any palm trees in there, so maybe that's a northern beach rather than
Oh,
a southern.
oh no, this is Florida.
Okay.
I was gonna put it, you know, out of this grass area over here on the right hand side. And then you see you have to put a little pool of water right here, like there's, and it has to drain. It has to drain naturally. See, it has to drain down this way, and it has to drain down that way. And but the water has to have the right color to it, a little bit of blue in it. It can't be perfectly white. It has to be just a slight touch of blue in the water, and you put that water right there, see, and it comes in, and everywhere that's a little sandy beige, you just put the bluey water in. And then gotta make sure the brush is clear. See, and then I'll put a little bit more. I'm a long ways away from you, aren't I? So I have to put some more blue up here, and then touch that with some white up to the top so that it comes right. I'm just, and you know, you can see in this rock where water would naturally flow. And if you see that, you've got a good eye for painting, because a lot of times your brain will assign whatever it sees its value and what it is. Oh, that's a rock. Oh, that's a tree. But when you're using a paintbrush, you are reassigning whatever that is every time you touch it. You know, what exactly you're making with it. And then your brain readjusts every time, every second. Your brain is readjusting what it sees. Because remember, your eyes only pick up, your eyes are just jelly. You know, don't fall in love with eyes. The color of the eyes, they're just jelly. And they take light up to the brain, and the brain is where you live. That's where you truly live.
You truly live in your spirit.
Yeah. And your spirit is in your belly, and and your soul is in your brain, in your cranial cavity. That's why it says, well, anyway, reaped, you're cut loose, and you're allowed to leave your body.
You've actually, do you recall that poem about the iris?
Yeah, called The Edge of the Iris. Your face turns to me, mine turns to you, beside the firelight under the midnight blue. The light from yellow fingers that reach to touch the sky dance warmly on your face and sparkle in your eye. Suddenly I realize I don't know just who you are. I want to go beyond to the source of that twinkling star. So in imagination travel, I go beyond the crystal glass. Clear and curved your cornea, in silence I move past. The iris I now rest upon, the color of the iris I sit upon doesn't matter now. I push off and move beyond. Beholding now the optic nerve, which leads to you through gentle curve up into the place you truly live. I find you there awaiting me, the secret you, the outside cannot see. Retreating now to fireside, you stare me through, could not hide the joy of knowing just who I'm in love with. But of course, I should have known, let's see. But of course, you see me through. I should have known you'd see me too. And past the shell in which I live, to who I am in you. Something like that.
Donny wrote that poem.
Yep.
By the way.
Yeah, I was working for Wendy's at the time, 1991, and there was just kids, 17 and 18, getting ready to be married, and they've already had one child, and they're not even 20 yet. And I said, you need to have cruise control commitment. And they said, what is cruise control commitment? And I said, that is when you step back and put your relationship on cruise control instead of all this acceleration.
Nancy said that's a beautiful poem, Donny.
Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, I told one the other night on our live stream here in the trailer, in the RV.
Shar of Heart said, I could tell you wrote that by how well you recited it.
While painting. I still messed it up a little, but I forgive me.
Richard said, nice poem. Nancy
All right, so you see.
I agree, Shar.
And then we put just a little bit of splash, just a tiny bit.
You know, and the interesting thing is, I've wrote a few poems, not very many. Donnie's wrote a lot of poems. I've written a few poems.
Yeah,
and,
the best one was the Forrest Gump one.
Yeah, I wrote one about a Forrest.
We went to see the movie.
We both wrote a poem when we saw Forrest Gump. It just really instilled emotions in us.
Oh, yeah.
And
you wrote one for the girl, and yeah, that was awesome.
Sharp Heart said, I had one short but similar called A Wish for a Star. I wrote one poem for Donnie. I think I gave it to him when we were engaged or something, or maybe just after we were married, I'm not sure. He's probably gotten a lockbox or something.
I hope so. I don't remember.
My poetry is completely different style than his.
She's a one-liner. Each line rhymes.
I have two lines and they'll rhyme, and then the next two lines and they'll rhyme, and the next two they'll rhyme. That's how I do mine. His is like story form.
Third, fourth line rhyme, yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, this is an exciting painting. To see where I wanted it to go and where it ended up is just amazing to me. I'm amazed. I'm just lost. I'm wanting to just put a little shadow color on my fence. I know there was one painting that I absolutely love of a beach, and it has one of these fences, and that's why I always try to do it. But the fence had a shadow and everything. Oh, beautiful. And I couldn't repeat that. Was not able to do it. Oh, too much. Whew. Ruined that. Oh, that's too bad. Well, we're just gonna have to make something out of that. When all else fails, read the directions.
When I was a kid, hi Gio, Mad Cat.
Gio!
He said, wow, I like that painting. Looks awesome, Donnie.
Wow, thank you. Believe me, I didn't know what was happening. I didn't plan this at all.
When I was a kid, I had to recite a poem. I had to memorize and recite a poem. Now, think of that as, you're you're an Asperger's, you know, you don't like attention on you. You know, if you don't notice, that's why most of my videos are POV, point of view, showing you where you know, what I am looking at. And my videos mostly, unless we're doing a food vlog or something like that, or a live stream where, you know, the camera's facing us, most of my live streams are POV, point of view, showing you, so that the audience that's watching feels like they are right there with us. That's the kind of videos I like to put out, whether we talk during the video or whether I put it out as an ASMR with peaceful music or something in the background. Some of my videos are just to bring people peace, you know, and to help them feel like they are right there, because we have viewers that cannot get here, and I try to give them the experience as if they're there. And you know, I'm not trying to make my face what do you call it,
memorized.
No, I'm not trying to make my face well known, you know what I mean, like I'm not constantly showing my face, trying to make myself
an icon.
What do you call it? Like a celebrity. I'm not trying to make myself like a celebrity. I will show Donnie's face way more than I show mine. You know what I mean? It's just my nature. That's my personal nature. You know, like that. And so I try to let people feel like they are there with us, even when I do my driving videos and stuff.
Yeah.
I want
They're
them to
important,
feel
not
like
us.
they are in the car.
We are not the
I
important
want them
ones.
to feel like if I get on the chairlift, I want them to feel like they're on the chairlift. If I'm walking, I want them to feel like they're walking. You know, and I try to do those kind of videos for my viewers so that they can feel like they are right there. You know.
Yeah.
And but I had to memorize this poem in school. And I had to get up in front of everybody and recite this poem. It's a real short poem.
You still remember it?
Yeah, about mice. And I found it just to make sure that I had it right.
Oh.
But it said, I think mice are rather nice. Their tails are long, their faces small. They haven't any chins at all. Their ears are pink, their teeth are white. They run about the house at night. They nibble things they shouldn't touch, and no one seems to like them much, but I think mice are nice. And that's a poem by Rose Fileman, a children's poem called I Think Mice Are Nice.
Are nice.
Or it's called Mice Are Nice or something like that. Yeah. But that was a cute poem. I used to recite it every now and then.
Did you just look that up online?
I did.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe that's online.
Because I wanted to make sure that I didn't mess it
That's
up. That's
amazing that it was even there.
Yeah.
Online is incredible.
Shar of Heart said, I was a twinkle in the sky when I heard a wish of one's deep heart desire, and there it was, my name plain to see, but how could he know my name except it were for he? I was sent indeed, some things like that. She said, it's been a while since I looked at it or thought of that poem.
Well, that's a sweet thing. Everybody look at your childhood poems.
Vicki England said, I like the way you do your videos, not talking all the time. Some people's mouths never shuts up and constantly have to put the camera in their face while they're vlogging. Yeah, that's just not my style. It's just not my style to vlog that way. I've always been a person that enjoys being in the background. As a matter of fact, if you see some of my older videos, even when we were vlogging food, I wouldn't even look. I mean, I wouldn't even have Donnie put the camera on my face when I was vlogging food. I would just show the camera at my food, and I would say, describe it and say, this was really good, or blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't until Will from Yankee in the South, he's a friend of ours, and he told me, he said, you do have to show yourself once in a while on your videos, because people want to know what you look like, and they want to see you, like, you know, talking just a little bit here and there. You know, doesn't have to be a lot, but I mean, they want to see you so they know whether they can trust you and stuff. And so at that point, it took me a while after he kept telling me that to where I would actually allow my face to be on camera. Yeah, because I don't have any kind of really desires for fame. I do like to give people,
and we're just regular looking people too. We're not special.
Yeah, I do like to give people an experience like they are here, you know. And I had a camera, being an Asperger's kid, you know. I had a camera in my hand since I was a little girl, you know. Even before I knew I dealt with Asperger's syndrome, I had a camera in my hand, and when I was nervous on a field trip, I would take my camera and I would go over there and take a picture of something, you know. And I would, you know, that would help, that would comfort me. That would help me to not have an anxiety attack, you know. And so what I did was I just translated that into where I was always taking photos and stuff. And then I translated that into when you could take videos, to where I would take videos and stuff. But I, you know, you can tell by my videos, I am not the focus of the camera, except on a once in a while thing, you know. If I can show everyone a live stream where they can see what we're looking at, instead of, you know, I might turn the camera over there on Donnie for a minute or something, but if they can see what we're looking at, and then we're just talking to them sometimes, you know, on a live stream or something, then it's like, I just want them to enjoy what we're experiencing, you know. T. Richard said, I like to feel like I am there enjoying myself too. Thank you. Those are the compliments, Vicky and T. Those are the compliments for me that show me that I am, that you know, I am doing what I'm trying to do, that I'm being successful at what I'm trying to do, which is help people have the experience like they are actually there. You know?
And Joy and I get along in a lot of very interesting ways, because I do the same thing with my storytelling. I'm not wanting to tell a story for you to look at me. I'm wanting to tell a story that you could see it and go, oh my goodness. I was with you when you were seeing that iris on that. I was with you as you pushed off the iris and went beyond up into the place she truly, I was with you, you know. I could see that.
Hi, Maritza.
Uh-oh, we touched black. Somehow we touched black. I have no idea if these green grasses have yellow flowers. I'm just putting them in there anyway.
Jill, what's a Birmingham? I mean, I know a Birmingham as a city. I know a Birmingham as
a tiny home.
A tiny home. built by the Amish. Sharp Heart said, I like seeing what the host is viewing.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Birmingham, Geo said, is a song by Tracy Lawrence. Okay. I guess I don't know that song. It's the city. Okay. Like, we've been to Birmingham, Alabama. We went to, we actually stayed there, camping. There's an old campground there called Tennahill. Tennahill.
T-A-N. Tanner.
It's like Tennessee, but it's Tennahill.
Tenna or Tanner?
No, Tennahill.
Tenna,
Like Tennessee.
okay.
Yeah. And it's old. They have they have an old iron. They used to make iron there. They had a factory.
At the time of the Civil War.
During the Civil War. They actually have Civil War cabins there and stuff. And an old church and stuff. And it's reasonably priced. It's like a state campground, I think, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And you can tent camp there. You can...
And fish.
Yeah. I don't think they have full hookups. I don't think they don't have a dump, like, for your RV toilet. You have to...
That's at the entrance.
Yeah, you have to pull away to dump it. They do have water and electric sites, though. And then I think they have some primitive sites, which is just tent camping. They also have a slave cemetery there. And we walked up there, and you have to be careful if you do that. That is like, wow, that is steep climbing. And
I had to push you up the hill.
He had to push me up. push
I remember
me
that.
up the hill so that I could finish it. But we got ticks on us there when we walked around that cemetery. And the what do you call it? The Boy Scouts had come to the cemetery and built a fence around the cemetery and stuff, because there was nothing showing you protecting it, so they put a fence around it, which was very nice. I thought that was very nice.
Yeah, respectful
That the Boy Scouts had gone and done that. And then we learned, Donnie was reading the scripture, and we learned that there are some people in the Bible, and it said that their graves would not even be marked and stuff. But the thing we learned was
that was Proverbs 4.
But the slave graves, those slave graves were marked. They were marked. They had some sort of stone on them. Now, they didn't necessarily have a name on them, but they had some sort of a grave marking on all of the slaves that were buried and stuff. So I said to Donnie, in their death, the people in their life did not have respect for them, but in their death, they had respect for them to mark their graves. Where in the Bible, those people that the Bible was talking about, it said that they didn't have any respect for them even in their death. They got no marker at all.
Yes, and men will trod underfoot and have no knowledge. That's what it said. And men will trod your grave with no knowledge you were even existing.
But there's a lot of places that have a slave a slave cemetery, and there's little stones that mark their graves. And sometimes people don't really know it's a slave cemetery, but there'll be stones all over. But if you go to a historic site and they are aware of it, they preserve it for history's sake.
I'm looking for my signing brush. And no, it doesn't talk to the deaf. I have a stack of brushes right here. There they are. Oh, it's stiff. How did that happen?
Oh, I hear a little fire.
Yeah.
A little fireworks out there. The husky ain't gonna want to go out and go potty.
Yep, that just ended that idea of after I'm painting them and take her. I have to wait till almost midnight to walk her now, when all the noisy people are in bed. You can't even see my signature.
Well, you're painting below the camera view right now. So
Okay.
anyway.
All right. Ah, very happy, very happy. Really surprised how good this came out. I wasn't expecting this. Was not expecting this.
Are you done for the night?
That's it. I have signed it. We are good to go.
And we just want to say again, for all the people that watch on the replay or on the television without chatting, because we do have a lot of people that watch on television, watch our channels on television, and they don't ever get in the chat.
No.
And so thank you.
Thank you. You can hit, even if you watch TV though, you can leave a thumbs up by clicking up once and then scrolling over to the thumbs, clicking on the one that looks like it's pointing up. Don't get the wrong one.
Suzanne said that's so nice, Donnie, your painting.
Thank you.
Shar of Heart said, I love beach or ocean side paintings, night sky, and sunset or sunrise paintings the most.
Mm-hmm.
T. Richard said, I enjoyed the painting and company. Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you, sir, for being here.
Shar of Heart said, hope everyone has a wonderful night.
We love you, but Jesus loves you more.
Jesus loves you more.
Good night, good night, good night.